Aston Villa too, we saw a frustrated Mikel Arteta at the end of the game. Here he is.
Incredibly proud of the team. I think it was an immense performance, but immense. Against this team, what they've done after playing 3 times in 6 days with the same players, not having enough to change it, I cannot be prouder of that. And then we are very disappointed with the result, obviously. We can fault ourselves as well because defending the way that we've done it in one of the goals especially, it cannot be part of our game if we want to be at the highest level in this country, because the rest is what else can I ask the team to do against a very good side.
So let's just take a look at what that means. We'll talk about Liverpool's late win in a moment, but they are 6 points clear of Arsenal, and they have, of course, a Merseyside derby as that game in hand. We welcome Frank Leboeuf. We'll be hearing from Frank in a moment. But what was interesting here is that Arsenal were in complete control of this game for an hour. And then all of a sudden Villa get back into it. And this is a big, big problem if you're going to go for the title, isn't it? Obviously, dropping these silly points.
Yeah, they had no Saliba, so Timber had to play centre-back. Partey had to play right-back because White's out, Tomiyasu's still out. So he has got some problems. But it's still a very, very strong side. They still were 2-0 up. They still were the dominant side, albeit Villa on the break, first half and second half, before they got their first goal, with Ollie Watkins up front. He's a handful. And at any given time, Tielemans can pick a pass. But, yeah, I mean, it wasn't that so much that Arsenal weren't clinical today. Like, we've criticised them for that. They got a couple of good goals, and Trossard was a threat again. But it seems like they almost switched off on 2 occasions, and Villa punished him. I mean, he was just about to take Ollie Watkins off. Yes. Not that he was bad, but he was going to change him with John Duran, who's been a bit of a super sub. But yeah, it's a problem. They beat Tottenham in the league, but that was a severely depleted Tottenham side. They lost to Newcastle, obviously, in the first leg of the Carabao Cup, went out the FA Cup to Man United, and they've dropped points here from a winning position. That is not a team that's telling you it's going to put a 10-12 game run together and go on and win the league. It's just not.
Our narrative in those previous games was almost like they look a bit one-dimensional. They don't really seem to offer too much threat going forward. Yep. As Greg mentioned, that was different today. You get 2 nice goals. You're in control of the game. Is this almost a bigger concern that you make such schoolboy errors to let them back in?
Well, I think it's a simple answer, and it's Saliba wasn't playing.
Right.
You know,
Arteta said that afterwards he doesn't know how long he's going to be out for.
Well, that's a blow to them, because it's not only what he does defensively, but it's the way he organises around them. The 2 goals, you can argue, your 2 centre-backs are out of position. If you end up with 2 of your central midfielders playing centre-back, then that shouldn't happen. And it happened on both occasions. Again, you could question Partey. Partey was in the wrong position, tried to step out for some reason when there was 3 or 4 behind him anyway. Certainly playing Aston Villa on. But I think it's pretty simple. This is down to Saliba not playing, and Arsenal have depended on their back line for being so solid. They've got the best record in the league, but today, without him, that's the difference. If he plays, I think they win the game.
Well, Timber can play there, but obviously, and he has. He can play any position in the back 4. But if you're Arsenal and he wasn't available today, he is injured. But Calafiore is a natural centre-back. Now, you'd have to shift Gabriel across, but he can come in, because young Miles Lewis Skelly's done terrific at left back. I mean, he's a teenager, but he has been terrific. He's what a prospect this young man is. And then Timber goes back to right back. So he's going to have to figure it out, because we'll get to Liverpool, but that's the stuff of sort of...
Do you empathise with Arteta when he's talking about a tired team, 3 games in 6 days?
Isn't everybody playing? Isn't everybody playing
it's
games?
January, come on.
Didn't he play a Tottenham team in midweek who've just got an unbelievable amount of injuries? This is what happens. He's in all competitions, so it is what it is. That's a strong Arsenal side. He was able to bring on a player that he wanted to bring in, who had no real effect in Raheem Sterling. So. I've no real sympathy.
Let's be honest.
Everybody's playing games.
Why doesn't somebody turn around and say, how can you perform the way Arsenal did going forward and complain about being tired? Come on. It's not possible. You're telling me that Arsenal were tired today? Absolute nonsense. They were at it for the whole game, for 90 minutes. In terms of football, they deserve to win the game. Unfortunately, Aston Villa, counter-attacking side, are really good on the break. Watkins holds the ball up great to let others come in. and they made a couple of mistakes to lose 2 goals. This has nothing to do with them being tired. The result today.
I know we're going to go to Frank, but he's contradicting himself because he's saying the last 3 or 4 games, we have, whether we agree or not, he said the standard has been high. Now, the standard of the finishing in the previous games was not high, but he's saying the standard of general performance was high, and for the main part today it was. But if you're tired, you don't set that standard.
No.
So the actual preferred to criticise, apart from those defensive mistakes, from a position of real strength, not picking up a midfield runner in Tielemans, and you know he's a danger, and stepping out at the back post and leaving Ollie Watkins from a decent ball in. It wasn't a ball that was sort of whipped in and it was, you said, okay, you couldn't defend that. Both Villa goals could have been defended properly, they didn't do it, and that's why they dropped points.
Are we in a situation where we say if there's no Saliba, there's no chance?
No, because, you know, the same thing could happen to Liverpool. You know, they could get in, if Van Dijk gets injured, that changes, and if Konate gets injured, that changes it as well. It's small margins.
Right.
That's why I'm saying that's the difference between Timber and Saliba. Timber's a good player. He's a good centre-back. But the difference when you have your main players, just the presence, what they're able to do just on one-on-one defending, and then the way they organise everybody around you. That's what you lose when you lose a Saliba.
Well, Liverpool did have a period with Konate out.
Yeah.
All right, they've got Van Dijk, but they've still got Gabriel. Very good defender, you know, part of a very good back four. And they had to cope with Kwanzaa, and then it was Gomez who did a good job. So somebody has to step in and do a job for 3 or 4 games, whatever it is. And that's what they're going to have to figure out.
Be interesting to see how they do that, obviously. And we're just waiting for... Is Frank ready? Because I'm going to move on otherwise. All right, OK, we'll move on.